What's up guys, CEO here with week 3 of the PU Battleground. This week we are taking on Flooka, coach of the Hamilton Rai-Cats, aka our Soul Link partner, that we haven't actually recorded the second episode yet, but we just kind of got busy during the holidays and stuff, so I actually have like 3 battles I need to record because I can't stay on a decent recording schedule anymore, but I went into this battle basically trying to out-predict Flooka, I guess, since I didn't want to be predictable and just kind of bring a similar team that I brought last time. I decided to kind of basically just bring everything I hadn't brought yet, and then try to build a cohesive team around that. So first off, we have Vikavolt, Life Orb, Levitate with Agility, Energy Ball, Bug Buzz, and Thunderbolt, max HP, max speed, and positive special attack increasing nature. Basically this is meant to kind of outspeed everything on his team after an agility. After I get to an agility, basically anything that's not scarfed is going to be outsped, and even most scarfers actually get outsped, surprisingly. And then you just use Vikavolt's like base 145 or whatever special attack to kind of just nuke stuff. Energy Ball, Bug Buzz, and Thunderbolt obviously at least hits everything here neutrally, which is nice. Next up is Musharna with Psyche and Z Healing Wish, Psychic Terrain, Psychic, and Moonlight. Obviously this doesn't do shit against Drapion. I was tempted to put Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam over the last slot of Moonlight, but I realized if Drapion's gone, Psyche and Z Psychic Terrain, if you don't know, basically gives you Psychic Terrain and then it boosts your special attack by 1, or it gives me the opportunity to use Psychic instead if I set Psychic Terrain and then just use Set or Shaky or whatever. It's a bit situational, I guess, but it did do quite a lot in practice, especially since most of the teams I practiced against didn't actually have Drapion on them. And then it basically, if Drapion comes in and tries to kill me or whatever, I can just go for Healing Wish and go into something else. I actually just realized that I had the wrong team pulled up for this, because this is actually the one with Steelix. Oh, and I guess because of that I actually did switch Moonlight to Dazzling Gleam, because I was like, oh, I can't touch Drapion at all. Sorry, I had 2 versions of this team, and the first version was basically the same as the second version, only the second version had a Steelix over Mismagius. I was really scared of Flooka's Linoon coming up and sweeping me, because if it basically just gets a belly drum and like runs through my team or whatever, I can't really do very much about it, which is the reason why I brought Psychic Terrain in the first place, to kind of block extreme speed. I also brought a max attack, max defense Steelix with Sturdy and Leftovers, Protect, Roar, Heavy Slam, and Earthquake. Surprisingly, Steelix with max defense actually takes a +6 Stomping Tantrum from Linoon very well. Not very well, I guess it still takes like 70%, but seeing as how it's +6, that's actually pretty good. And then I can either roar it out or just kill it. Next up, season debut for Kamala with an Assault Vest, Comatose obviously because that's the ability, Brick Break, U-Turn, Rapid Spin, and Earthquake. Brick Break's mostly for screens, but also for Linoon, I guess if I can basically just be in against it, I can hit it super effectively with something, at least. U-Turn and Rapid Spin are basically for momentum and getting rid of rocks if I need to. I don't have like a super weak rock team, but if I realize that Archeops or Vikavolt like kind of clean up late game and I need to get rid of rocks, I have it there. And then Earthquake's just powerful to hit stuff like Drapion, basically. And then we have Garbodor also making a season debut, Rocky Helmet Aftermath with Pain Split, Spikes, Toxic Spikes, and Drain Punch. Exact same spread as Kamala, actually, max HP, max F. Basically this is kind of just meant to get up hazards and die. Flooka doesn't have the best hazard removal, obviously. I think Rabombi gets Defog now. I'm not 100% sure, but if not, then that basically means his only defogger on his team is Talonflame, and Talonflame's not a very good defogger at all. So I'll just go ahead and try to stack as much as I can. And then finally we have Archeops with a Focus Sash, Quick Attack, U-Turn, Endeavor, and Stealth Rock. Sort of kind of like a budget Aerodactyl, I guess, if you want to think of it like that, where basically I just get the rocks up, get Braving down to my Sash, Endeavor something. If he switches out on my Endeavor, great, because then I get to kill it with a Quick Attack, even though it only does like 1 or 2%. that'll still be enough, obviously, because if I'll be at a focus sash, that means he's at 1%. So, kind of previewing his team, he left Flygon, Registeel, Tangela, Linoon, and Frogadier, and Electabuzz at home. So this team is like half of what I expected. I didn't really expect Dewosian at all. I kind of respected Ribombee because it's like really fast, and does somewhat well against my team, but I do have a lot of, well, I guess my fire type is actually a fighting type, so I guess that makes sense too. I didn't really expect Talonflame very much, because Talonflame kind of sucks, if I'm being perfectly honest. Quagsire, Sock, and Dravion I definitely expected though, so I prepared pretty heavily for them. But like I said, he doesn't really have good hazard removal, so I'm just going to try to go Archeops here and get the rocks up. Unfortunately, he leads Dewosian, which is kind of scary to me, because I don't really have a ton that takes this on. I left a Alolan Persian at home this week because I didn't really expect him to bring Dewosian, and I didn't really have a great matchup against the rest of his team. But now I also don't really have anything for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get rocks up because there's no reason for me not to. And he just goes straight for an Endeavor, which is kind of ridiculous to me, because figures the one time I actually bring an Endeavor set, my opponent also brought an Endeavor set. It didn't work on me because I guess he actually has more HP than me right now. But I was really hoping for him to just go for like a Psychic or something and bring me down to Sturdy, or not Sturdy, but bring me down to my Focus Sash so I could actually get an Endeavor off. I'm kind of trapped on what to do here, so I'm just going to go for a U-turn and get damage off and try to Spike Stack, I guess. I get really lucky that he just goes for a Toxic there. I guess he was just trying to break a potential Sash as well as just Toxic something, which is nice. But Todd Downing, by the way, is the shitty offensive coordinator that the Raiders had that they don't have anymore, thank fucking God. So I'm just going to go ahead and Spike Stack. You can see that because I'm Spadef, I actually managed to take one of those pretty well. But now that he's spamming Psychic, I actually want him to bring me down to my Sash so I can go for an Endeavor and at least take stuff out if I need to. But first, I'm going to go ahead and sack off Todd Downing because he's not doing shit this game. I wanted Vikavolt in because Vikavolt directly threatens this while still giving Archeops a chance to come in and Endeavor something late game. The only, it's actually kind of hard for me to Endeavor this game because Ribombee and Talonflame both naturally outspeed. Sock is most likely Scarfed because Flooka really likes Sock with a Scarf. Either Sturdy or Moldbreaker depending on what works better each week. So I didn't really have a need for Todd Downing anymore beyond just taking a hit from Ribombee or Sock, I guess, but they weren't really going to do very well with either. So I went ahead and sacked it and just went into Vikavolt because now I can either set up an Agility or just punch something with a Thunderbolt. I'm going to punch something with a Thunderbolt, which is good because Talonflame comes in and immediately drops. I could have gone for an Agility there and set up and actually been ahead of everything, but because I don't actually OHKO Sock with anything right now, I didn't think it was a very good time to do that, I guess. But he at least doesn't have Sturdy. He has Moldbreaker, which is kind of nice because I don't really have anything that needs Moldbreaker. Because I need a sack here, Archeops seems like the sack to make. It would have been nice to come in and actually get to Endeavor something, but I wasn't really sure what he was going to go for. I guess a Rock Slide was pretty predictable since I was in with a Vikavolt and went for Earthquake. So I could have doubled into Steelix, especially seeing as how I didn't actually need it for line-in protection this week. But I wanted to keep it Sturdy up in case I needed to switch in or whatever. Such as now. So now that I'm in with Sturdy, I'm guaranteed to live a hit even if he's not Scarfed, and can kind of just fire off an attack now. I'll see what he does. Him switching out kind of suggests that he's Scarfed, so I just go for a Roar and try to phase something in. He's Regenerator on this, obviously, first of all because he came in with more health, and second of all because he actually took damage from this, which is nice. Well, nice for him, not very nice for me, because now he gets to just go for an Endeavor and severely weaken something on my team. I unfortunately decided to make it Kamala because I don't really have a ton of use for Kamala this game. Its main use this game was for Rapid Spin or basically being in to U-turn and stuff. So I'm just going to go for damage, I guess. I could have gone for a U-turn, but I didn't really want anything else to take another Endeavor. And I kind of thought Earthquake into Endeavor, or Earthquake into U-turn would have killed, but since it didn't, I again have to kind of just let my stuff die, basically. So this is probably one of the bigger moments of the battle, is when he got that Endeavor off. I really thought that Earthquake into Endeavor was going to kill. I didn't want to U-turn into something and then have him Endeavor and weaken me, but that's exactly what ended up happening anyway, so I got a little unlucky there. I'm not sure if it was a roll or not, but I wasn't really calculating during this game. I was just kind of trying to play. So having to take that Endeavor sucked, but at least Musharna got a kill. Unfortunately, now Rabombi is in, so I might as well try to go for a Healing Wish and get like health up in case this thing just quiver dances in my face, which would be really bad. He just goes straight for the Moonblast, which is fine. I have to go Vikavolt here because this is the only thing that can threaten the rest of his team. If I go Kamala, he basically just Moonblast again and kills me. And if I go Steelix, I don't really have a lot to do. Like, I can take a hit, but then I'm weakening myself kind of severely for Sock, so I kind of have to not do that. So at this point, my only real play is to agility up and just try to sweep his team at this point. So he goes for Quiver Dance, which is terrifying. Luckily, after an agility, depending on if he is modest or timid, I actually might outspeed still, which is kind of ridiculous. It's like very close on if I do or not. So I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt here because I don't predict him to go straight into Quagsire, and I should be able to kill even with him at +1 Spit F right now because I have Life Orb. Unfortunately, he Quiver Dances again, which I wasn't really predicting, and because of that, he ends up actually living that well enough to basically just sweep the rest of my team. I'm at the point with Steelix where I could actually just Heavy Slam or something, but I decided to Roar to try to phase him out. In hindsight, that probably didn't really matter that much because I could have Heavy Slammed and gotten an extra kill, basically. But Rabombi was still out and not scary anymore, but unfortunately Drapion just kind of comes in. And I haven't seen Drapion all game, but it being Black Sludge means that it's probably bulky enough to take a hit. And unfortunately Drapion's just offensive enough to kind of clean up the rest of the game. So unfortunately I got swept this week. I didn't really prepare enough for Rabombi, I think. I didn't really prep at all for Devotion, which is obviously kind of a mistake. He hadn't brought it before, so I mean, like, good prep on him for just kind of having the set that ended up beating my team. I am a little bit annoyed that Archeops didn't do anything, because in every practice game I had, it was like really good. And then Flooka brought Regenerator Endeavor, which I would have never even fucking thought of, basically. Which ended up like completely destroying my team. If he hadn't Quiver Dance with Rabombi again, actually, I think I might have swept. Because Thunderbolt would have killed Rabombi, he would have probably gone Quagsire, and I would have just Energy Balled it and killed it. And then I think Thunderbolt with the Spikes and Rocks would have actually killed both Sock and Drapion. But at the very least, it would have let me keep my Sturdy and go for Earthquake against one of them or something. So basically what I'm saying is, even though it was a 4-0, it was actually still a pretty close game. So good game, Flooka. I think this put him in first for the PU Battleground right now. We only have a couple weeks left because Season 4 of the NES is actually starting pretty soon. We're going to have a live draft on Saturday, January 20th. I don't remember the exact time, but it's the 20th somewhere. So stay tuned for that. I'll hopefully be a little bit better about getting these videos out on time once it's the regular season, but since it's still the off season and kind of finishing up the holidays and stuff, I'm still trying to just kind of catch up on everything. So, thank you guys for coming by. Sorry, this wasn't exactly one of the best battles I've ever had. I think I tried to get a little bit too wild with my team building and stuff, and it kind of ended up biting me because Flooka also went wild with his team building and got me off guard, basically. So, good game, Flooka. You kind of have a winning streak against me now, but I'll try to break it when it counts in the season, I guess. So next week we take on Epsilon and the Magnemite. We've only really battled them once, actually, at least like formally on the channel, I guess. But we battle all the time in practice and stuff, so it should be a pretty fun game. I'll be looking to rebound from this one for sure. If you like this video, drop a like and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos from this. You can see the rest of my Pokemon if you want to recommend sets and stuff. Thank you guys for coming by, and I will see you next week.